Welcome back, nerds. Fino here with a guide for Lilim Harlot. This is a quote-unquote collab with FGO Arcade, which is currently treading water in maintenance mode. Promising stuff. But setting aside the grim future of Principal Shuten dojis, this event is quite a chunky fellow. It's a story-focused mission event, and you can play it simply by completing Fuyuki, FGO's first chapter. You've got a trio of command codes tied to mission rewards, and this first one is a true gem. Romance that is in the spear. It applies the Roman trait on hit, and also deals additional damage to said Romans. For servants with built-in anti-Roman damage like Draco or Boudica, this is immensely valuable. There's also Omniscience Clay Tablet, which gives NP gain and star generation, and Azure Spiritron's Command Seal, aka the Hakuno CS, which gives crit damage and applies crit chance down. One very merciful aspect of this event is that we have an event damage CE. That would be Song of the Cradle. It makes farming a breeze if you need it, and its specs aren't half bad either. 50% charge with Hybrid Art / Buster and NP gain. It's a good package for a new player considering its full attack investment, at least until you get better options. You can get 4 copies from the shop, and a 5th is given from a post-story mission, or you could just luck sack it from a free quest. Second to romance that is in the spear, the other big prize from Lilim Harlot is the Welfare Servant, Setanta, aka Little Coup. He's a free single-target quicksaber, and while seasoned players will have plenty of alternatives outside of his anti-wild beast niche, the available pool of single-target sabers isn't very good in the early game, so newbies will want him to cover their bases. Either way, remember to keep Setanta in your party to do the bond and quest clear missions. A large number of event servants get damage and bond bonuses. Mash alone is party-wide in her bond buff, so throw her in your backline whenever you're struggling to manage cost. That way you can get some benefits anyway. One of these stranger mechanics in Lilim Harlot is that, as you progress, you'll accumulate health from the FGO Arcade original servants. These will add a variety of effects to your command codes. Most of them aren't worth thinking about too much, but Santa Helena and Setanta are worth sequencing in front of your Noble Phantasms, while Lady Avalon should come after. Many missions will also raise the level of specific card supports. The 90++ free quest is a 1-3-1 rider arrangement, culminating in a fight against Da Vinci Lily. As a human attribute rider, you can leverage Coinskaya's buff against her in a Buster setup. Being a female rider makes her weak to both Carmilla and Jack, if you want to go that route. But remember how this event has a damage CE? Yeah, this is a great place to take advantage of it. For my part, I threw an NP2 Draco and Tiamat at it just because I could, but realistically the event CE gives you a ton of wiggle room in terms of your single target DPS. You really just need to hit around 130k on your AoE. Summer Ibuki or a good assassin should be able to make short work of that wave. Now let's wrap up with the challenge quest. This one's got a fair bit going on. First of all, it is absolutely essential that your main attacker is in slot 1, the leftmost slot in your party. This fight has a mechanic that results in a Holy Grail buff being placed on that slot, and it's key to meeting the win condition. And yeah, it has to be the fight-specific Holy Grail. You can't just stick Draco in slot 1 and activate her second skill, though there are plenty of reasons not to do that even if it would work. The general idea is that the enemy team is unkillable. If you pop their guts, they'll swap out for another servant that's impervious to damage until the end of that turn. Cursed Amasan rotates into Martha, who then becomes Draco. Mysterious Heroine XX becomes Tiamat, who becomes Medusa. Setanta becomes Leonidas, who becomes Atalanta. So this fight covers quite a bit in terms of classes. The way it's set up, you're likely, though not guaranteed, to run into someone who resists your main attacker at some point. So be ready to give them a special dose of hate. I ran Kukulkan for my team, so Tiamat ended up being the big nuisance on that front. But I'll say you really want to run an AoE here because of the swap mechanic and the need to kill a bunch of servants before you could even get the Grail buff in the first place. The idea is that you need to get 100 points to win. Each servant has a point bounty based on their rarity, and here's where the Grail comes in. The servant with that buff gets double the bounty when they take enemies down. As far as I can tell, whoever kills the Grail holder then takes possession of the Grail. Unfortunately, you can't rely on your party restocking because this is FGO Arcade versus FGO Mobile, and you're stuck playing on mobile rules. But if it makes you feel any better, they're stuck playing a moribund game. Now I looked over my footage and I don't see any reason why you couldn't run the Immortal team. It'll take 1,000 years, but the Morgan variant should be able to chew through the encounter. I would not recommend bringing Himiko unless you want it to take 10,000 years. For people with less time on their hands, or willingness to listen to the first 10 seconds of Morgan's theme on loop, you'll want to bring a variety of countermeasures. For one, enemies will aggressively use their skills, and that includes their evades. So servants like Kukulkan, Ruler Moriarty, or Summer Musashi may serve you well. Summer Ibuki can deal with these skill-based protection effects, but you should be aware that all the enemies also have entry effects based on craft essences. Most annoyingly, Medusa comes in with a 3-hit evade that you cannot purge, so be ready for that. I also want to point out that in my footage, she somehow gets an invuln despite that not being in the documentation. It's definitely not a part of her own skill set, and Double X is the only one with any kind of invuln, which she cannot donate. So it's a real mystery. One bit of good news for you is that eliminated servants will lose their meter, so you don't have to worry about a servant ambushing you on entry, though a lot of them do have CEs that give them starting charge. I also realized that the Avenger Moon Cancer Ruler Triangle isn't present in this battle, so a servant from that set can make full use of their neutral damage. This combined with the sheer number of defensive effects means that those of you with a strong Moriarty will be eating well. Oh yeah, Tiamat will attempt to fish for stuns with her skill, so remember to bring the Mirror of Eight Leaves command code if you want to cover your bases. Lastly, the event damage CE works in this fight, so if you're having trouble, try limit breaking that first. Those are the essentials, lads. Now in a rare bit of prescience, 2023 Fino actually wrote down the step-by-step clear he did for this event. So if you guys want a brain-dead walkthrough, say if you happen to be doing this with 24 hours left on the clock, let me know when I can cook something up. With that said, thanks for watching. Like if you found this helpful, subscribe for more, and come out to twitch.tv/Finotaisen where I've got a lot of gacha on my plate this weekend. On Saturday, I'll be rolling for Tiamat in this game and Kiseki in Blue Archive. On Sunday, I'll be pulling an indeterminate number of Dracos and also doing the Best Servant contest. And on Monday, it's going to be the end of the month special surprise. I'll see you there.